Welcome to the third episode of Candid Faith, an interfaith program exploring the important and difficult issues that we all face in the faith community. I'm your host, Joseph Al-Mehdi, and first of all praises are due to God for the opportunity to present this show on this blessed channel. I hope that you're all well and in good faith, and that God opens up your heart to this message. Before we start today's program, let us settle now, as we do with each show, into the protection and guidance of God with the Lord's Prayer. Our Father in heaven, hallowed be your name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we have also forgiven our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. In the first episode, we started a journey together into the present-day dark realities of the satanic system. Make no mistake about it, brothers and sisters. The satanic armies are coming out of the woodworks. We talked about how they are using the legal system to construct their evil and demonic kingdom. This is no longer a conspiracy. This evil kingdom is real. Satan, may God curse this evil creature, has run through the veins of nearly every important and ruling facet on this planet, and he will not stop until he is released fully onto the earth. Satan understands that his time is near, and his armies are working tirelessly, often harder than any of us are working, to mislead the souls of men and delay his end. All of this is becoming a reality in front of our very eyes. Satanic churches being established all over America. Satanic literature being passed out to children in elementary schools. Leaked reports about evil, satanic, and pedophilic child rings all over the world. Sins and abominations being legalized by a dark and corrupt legal system. Government leaders and the elite among dark and powerful corporations participating in human sacrifices, satanic rituals, and not only worshiping Satan, but serving him on this planet. There is no doubt in my heart that we are living in a time where lines are being drawn, chances for repentance and serving God are running out, and that the enemies of God are growing stronger with each day. I believe with complete certainty that we must continue this path together to better understand and expose this evil creation. It's time that we come together and say enough to this endless fighting and struggles between each other. Each faith community focuses only on each other's differences, instead of finding the many commonalities that gather us together. The faith communities would rather fight each other and tire each other to try and convince one another of who is more righteous in front of God and who is on the true and straight path. From this program going forward, I'm asking those who are watching this show to set aside your theological differences for now. Let us turn our focus to the greatest common factor that we share, our common enemy, Satan, Shaitan. May God curse this evil creation and its adherents. Satan has built an army, brothers and sisters. Make no mistake about that. Forget the unseen forces that many of us have little understanding about. I'm talking about foot soldiers and activists on the streets, state, local, and federal politicians, military commanders, international leaders, bankers, scientists, and the satanic elite and occult behind the scenes, performing sigil rituals that create dark energies beyond our imagination. They all seek to fulfill the desires of Satan and maintain his kingdom here on earth. We know very little of these realities and their intentions going forward, but it's time that we start paying attention. Today, we are going to continue this journey together into the dark realms of the satanic elite and open the veil a little wider. We are going to peek into the realities of CERN, the secret organization in Switzerland, to try and understand who they are, why they are searching for the God particle and collecting antimatter, and what exactly they intend on doing with it. It's time for Candid Faith. What is CERN? There may be many of you watching this program right now and honestly not have much of an idea. And how could you? Since the founding of this organization and its recent activities in Switzerland, CERN has somehow managed to remain veiled from the public view. CERN was started back on September 29, 1954, and is located on the Franco-Swiss border. It was known as the European Organization for Nuclear Research. No one really understands why the letters were rearranged to create the acronym CERN, and what exactly those letters represent. No one really understands how in the world their website is simply home.cern, not .com or .gov or .edu or anything that is available to the common public and governmental systems. One speculation to why this is the case, and it's nothing small for us to consider, is the fact that the minds behind CERN created the internet. Their scientists wanted to create a way to have quick and convenient access to a data sharing server, a sort of intranet if you will. Governments and school systems quickly caught wind of this, and it birthed what we know as the internet today. It's important that we understand this because it helps us understand who exactly we're dealing with. Recently, in 2008, CERN completed a first-of-its-kind achievement. They successfully built the world's largest LHC facility, or Large Hadron Collider facility in the world. There are other particle accelerators in the world, but the one that CERN completed in Switzerland by far is the largest, and most importantly, the most powerful. This particle accelerator is nearly 300 feet beneath the ground and has a circumference of 17 miles. Physicists inject particles such as protons into the accelerator and monitor them as they begin their path towards collision, oftentimes reaching or surpassing the speed of light. But why are they doing this? And what exactly are they trying to accomplish? CERN openly shares in their mission statement that they are searching for the beginning of the universe, the God particle, the fabric of life, and that they are trying to recreate the Big Bang. I still wonder to this day how a first-of-its-kind project that cost upwards to $300 billion and had several Western powers involved in its completion, and that is investigating such advanced and unimaginable aspects of life, such as life itself, managed to stay below the radar. Why was there no coverage of the construction of such a facility? Going forward from here, one could assume that this powerful elite wanted to ensure that what they were really doing 300 feet beneath the earth in Switzerland would not be known by common man or the other governments of the world. When CERN collides these protons in the accelerator over the speed of light, they have magnets that are 100,000 times stronger than the magnetic force of Earth. Think about that for a second. What CERN is looking for is what comes out of the collision of these protons, antimatter. From there, they take this antimatter or dark energy and conduct experiments, and here is when things begin to get a little weird. There is matter, and there is antimatter, and dark matter. They want to know what is holding together the matter that we can't see. CERN wants to separate the natural from the supernatural. They want to isolate the dark energy or the antimatter. But the question is, what will happen when they do this? No one really knows. Scientists such as Neil Tyson deGrasse and Stephen Hawking both warned physicists and world leaders during the building process of the CERN facility in Switzerland that if they are not careful, and if they continue ramping up the acceleration of the proton collisions, it would be catastrophic. This is no joke, brothers and sisters. Playing with the building blocks of creation itself can only mean one thing, especially when it is not God behind the controls. One day the blocks are going to fall down, and when they do, scientists say that it will not only destroy Earth, but it will destroy our solar system and affect our neighboring universe. Now this may seem pretty intense and severe. You may be watching this and thinking to yourself, why in the world would governments allow a private corporation to build something like this? But the destruction of Earth and the solar system is just one of the consequences of CERN. There is a matter much more hidden and sinister. As modern physics explains, there is matter connected to positive energy and matter connected to negative energy. For every positive electron, there is an electron that is exactly the same, but negative. So for every positive or good, there is a negative or evil. The Matrix was right in a way when it showed us Neo and Agent Smith, and God knows best. But for those of you who are watching this and on a spiritual journey towards God, there may be the exact like of you out there in the world on the same level and journey, but towards Satan. Now, CERN has openly admitted that they are looking for this negative energy, looking for that dark energy. And there are theories backed by hard evidence that they want to extract and use this dark energy, this antimatter, to open up the space-time continuum and dimensional doors to other creations. One of the main theories is that they are trying to open the gates for demonic beings, and even Satan himself. Now we have to honestly ask ourselves, is this the making of another YouTube conspiracy video, or is there something more? Let's start from the source itself, on the home site of CERN. Sergio Bertolucci, Director for Research and Scientific Computing at CERN, said this: "Something may come through dimensional doors at LHC, and out of this door might come something, or we might send something through it." When you have the Director of Research telling you on their home website that they are trying to open dimensional doors and dimensional gates and allow things into these gates and send things through them, you better believe him, and you better start taking this seriously. But if the words of one of the top scientists of the world and one of the heads of CERN is not enough evidence for you, take a look for yourself. What we are about to show you is a home video that is taken in the skies above Switzerland. Notice when you watch this video how the wind starts picking up, how the sky starts swirling towards what seems to be in the center, a portal. And more importantly, watch what flies up from the facility of CERN and disappears into the portal.
Oh yeah, that's just insane. Nope. See the building's been sucked up.
The video we are replaying for you is one of the most hard evidences out there that CERN is using this dark matter to open dimensional gates for other beings. But if you want more, and of course we live in an age where everyone always wants more proofs, check out these next videos and pictures of strange cloud anomalies that form over CERN when they activate this dark matter or dark energy. These clouds resemble portals opening up, and they resemble such a destructive force that we have never seen upon this earth. It's important for you to understand that the videos you are about to watch, the cloud formations that you are about to see, are appearing directly above the CERN facility and nowhere else in Switzerland or in the world. And here is a new wave of black hole activities on Earth, which many believe to have been started by CERN, but is now being followed by Mexico and in the Gulf of Aden, and in other locations around the planet. Brothers and sisters, we have to wake up to the new reality that we live in. The satanic armies are working on all levels, But to be honest with you, this is the most concerning I have ever come across, and I believe with all of my heart that these will be the front lines of the spiritual war that we will face. And of course, God knows best. It can be worse than that. Clearly, CERN is opening dimensional gates by their own admission, by clear video proof that show black holes opening, dimensional gates opening in the skies and UFOs disappearing inside them, and destructive weather anomalies that not a single person can attribute anything to it, other than that CERN is inducing this by antimatter and that they have collected it from the proton collisions that are 300 feet beneath the Earth. So we must ask ourselves the question, are the theories true? Is CERN truly trying to open a dimensional gate for Satan and the demonic armies to enter into this realm? Well, if you want to forget that the first half of this show ever took place and you want to move on about your life, I hope that the recency effect helps you remember what you're about to see next. The most shocking, in-your-face mass satanic ritual to have ever been acted out in front of an international audience. To be acted out in front of world leaders such as Germany's Angela Merkel, France's Holland, and the Italian Prime Minister. What you are watching now is the opening ceremony of CERN in Switzerland. Keep in mind while you are watching the following clips that this ceremony is to celebrate the opening of a first-of-its-kind tunnel, a scientific and technological marvel that has never before been attempted by man. With that said, something clearly seems out of place. From the very beginning, workers are walking like zombies. The setting is very dark, clothes are derobed, people are hanging from the ceilings in chains as if they are dead, people running and cheering for a goat-headed Satan, worshiping him. There are portals being displayed on screens where white fallen angels are appearing from them. Satan himself appears from the portal and runs amok among his brides while he's having sex with them, and bushy demons running around, symbols of eyes and time and dimensions, Satan mating with the bridesmaids, pagan priests, ancient tongues being chanted, Egyptian scarabs, and more goat-headed Satans. It is just unbelievable. It's very important for you to remember that this entire procession is being acted out not only on an international stage, but in live audience in front of Angela Merkel, Holland, and the Italian Prime Minister. Now I have to ask the viewers at home, how in the world does this ceremony have anything to do with particle collision? Can you honestly watch something like this from a logical point of view and still believe that these people are purely scientific and do not have any satanic intentions or agendas? And is it a coincidence that they from their own selves admit to opening dimensional gates, that there are videos of UFOs, or white angels if you will, going through these gates, and then in their opening ceremony they act all of this out and that Satan comes through the portal? Are we sure that the conspiracy theories about CERN opening a dimensional gate for Satan is truly a conspiracy? I wish I could offer some sort of explanation, but after researching CERN and looking into it, I am unable to offer any valid argument for CERN. The acts they are doing seem far from godly or good, and everything points towards CERN opening dimensional gates and points towards CERN having satanic agendas. And I must apologize to those of you watching, but I have to ask this question again. Why would the Western leaders of the world be in attendance of such a ceremony? Just who exactly are we dealing with? The answer may be more shocking than what we have seen so far. The founding of CERN was on September 29, 1954. It must have been a coincidence that it fell on the Feast of Trumpets and was started by 12 countries. For those of you who are familiar with Scripture, you understand that this was prophesied, the day of the Feast of Trumpets and the 12 tribes of Israel. Now, according to Strong's exhaustive concordance, number 2287, the Feast of Tabernacles came to be so important in the ancient Jewish community and in its rituals, and that it was known as the Feast of the Lord and was even called the Feast. But in Hebrew, the word Hag, translated feast, literally means to dance or to be joyous, and comes from a root meaning to dance in a circle. Understanding that this day, its root meaning is to dance or to be joyous or to dance in a circle, do you believe it is a coincidence that CERN builds a huge statue of Shiva in its dance of destruction on the grounds of their official headquarters? Think about this for a second. Opening on the day of the feast literally means a sacred procession, and they use the deity Shiva in its dance of destruction, symbolizing their intention of complete destruction in order to build a new creation. The meaning of Shiva is widely known, and if you do not know much about it, please look it up. But destroying the world is not an easy task. One would think that only God has the ability to do such a thing, unless those behind CERN are searching to be gods themselves. And if that's the case, what could be more demonic than that? You may be wondering right now, how in the world have they discovered all of this? How are they able to open dimensional gates and create such technologies? Of course, God knows best, but we know that the occult and the dark societies have been doing these things for a very, very long time. And whether these people are in contact with these dark forces and receive the knowledge and the assistance from them, or that they are the dark forces themselves, all of this is the new reality. Something has been on my mind during this research. I couldn't figure out why Switzerland. Why did they choose Switzerland to do such a thing, to build such a facility? The answer is more shocking than anything you have seen so far in this program. A large portion of CERN is located on the territory of St. Genus Poli. In Roman times, it was called Apuleiacum. The town and temple in that time were dedicated to none other than Apollyon. Apollyon, who in this day is referred to as none other than Shiva, the very same deity that CERN so proudly displays on its front lawn. CERN building this facility on this ancient ground and doing the things that they are trying to accomplish is very important for us to understand, because it is noted in Revelation. To him was given the key of the bottomless pit, and he opened the bottomless pit, and they had a king over them, which is the angel of the bottomless pit, whose name in the Hebrew tongue is Abaddon, but in the Greek tongue hath his name Apollyon. After reading this verse, there is only one question that rests on my heart. Does this verse in Revelation refer to the ancient temple of Apollyon, or does it now refer to the new temple of Apollyon in Switzerland, known as CERN? Well, perhaps we could assume that those behind the ancient temple of Apollyon tried but failed. But where they failed, CERN hopes to succeed, as we have clearly proven that their intentions are to open dimensional gates and allow things through. And in their ceremony, it clearly shows that they want to release Satan from the bottomless pit, thus fulfilling the verse in Revelation. And eerily enough, all of this is starting to sound just like the fifth trumpet. The fifth angel sounded his shofar, and I saw a star that had fallen out of heaven onto the earth, and he was given the key to the shaft leading down to the abyss. Brothers and sisters, may God protect us from these evils and increase us to be among the front lines who face them. I'm starting to believe that you are convinced by what you have seen so far, but there is so much more. This is only a drop in the sea. This is only an introduction to this facility that lies 300 feet beneath the earth in Switzerland, or should we say, the new temple of Apollyon. We are starting to run out of time, but I want to show you a couple more things. First, here is an image of CERN's logo. Why in the world would a scientific corporation, or any corporation in the world, want to use a logo that represents 3 sixes in a trinity. And the last thing for today. There is a video circulating the web. It shows a satanic ritual taking place on the front grounds of CERN by the Shiva statue. What you are seeing is real video of the site where several people circle Shiva wearing black cloaks. A young woman is derobed and bows in front of Shiva. When she lays down, the other members bow to their knees, while the leader of the group displays a short knife that appears to be no longer than 4 to 6 inches. He slowly walks up to her and he pierces her in the chest. Now, many on the web believe this video to be real, but CERN quickly jumped on social media and deemed it to be a hoax or a joke. Me personally, if you slow the video down, it does appear that the knife pierces the girl in the chest and that her lower body even reacts naturally to that. But let's say that it's a joke. Let's say that CERN put on this hoax. Why, and I ask by God why, would a scientific corporation who is funded by many world governments, who are worth hundreds of billions of dollars, who have reached the technological advancements that we have never seen before, put on a satanic ritual as a joke in front of the world? The evidence we have presented today shows clearly that it is because their true nature and their true intentions are satanic, and they are trying to rebuild the Temple of Apollyon. That's our show for the day. I encourage you to write with any feedback or questions that you may have. Thank you for joining us here at Candid Faith. My name is Joseph Al-Mehdi, and I ask that God continues to inspire us to the truth and to true understanding, and prepares us for the path ahead. May God keep you safe and increase you in all that is good.